What's going on, guys? Welcome back to CROUP Manor. In this part we're going to be dealing with the floor, and there's quite a few holes, so we got some work to do. So I'm using the Thermatic and Practical mod. I've said this many times before, but I basically add these bits of floor in. Basically does all the hard work for you by putting all bits of ply and whatnot down. So I sink them in, making sure I have the original kind of floorboard sticking out a little bit to make it more realistic and blend in a little bit more nicely. And I do the same thing over here as well with this kind of hole, using obviously a different floor. And then I finish it off by using some bits of plywood, which is from the Craftable Plywoods mod, I think it's called. Yeah, so I just chuck down some of them just to blend it in nicely, and that's basically it for them little bits. Then I move on to this hole, which I basically use a big floor, and I have this little cutout in the corner. Now I put down some planks, but I make sure I have a little gap so you can kind of still see that hole, just to kind of add a little bit more realism and see what more kind of what's going on down there. And then I move up to the top floor, and I got this massive hole. Well, actually I got two massive holes. I wanted to mix it up a little bit, so I used these planks and made sure I kind of left gaps so you can still see through the floor, because I didn't want to completely just do the same thing and make it look all kind of too fancy. So I used some like little bits and longer bits and wider bits, and even some plywood, just to kind of make it look a little bit safe, but really it's, as you can see, not that safe. So I finish it off by adding a few more bits of plywood, obviously sinking them in a little bit to make sure I have them kind of planks seeping through. And I do the same kind of thing for the other side, chucking down some bits of plywood, making sure obviously I got them old floorboards kind of on top to kind of make it blend a little bit nicer, and then chucking down some more plywood and bits of plank, just to kind of blend it in and kind of make it a little bit more safer without so many holes. And it looks pretty good. Even though there's a lot of gaps and stuff, it still looks pretty sound. And then just to finish it off, I used a floor, I think it's from the band, yes it says at the bottom, from the band, just to kind of add a little bit more kind of color to it. And I used a nice little blue board in the corner to hide that gap. And that's basically it. I thought it turned out quite nice. It's so simple, yet sometimes you just don't think, oh, maybe I should just put a board, but instead of having it kind of raised a little bit, kind of sinking in just enough that you have that extra kind of 3D texture to the boards overlapping it. And even with these bits, we leaving the gaps just so you can kind of see through, kind of just adds a little bit more detail and a little bit more realism, I guess, to it. And then just to finish it off, just to mix it up but keep it simple as well, just by adding a simple board down and then a little bit of plywood in the corner just to finish it off. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Obviously if you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and goodbye.